Overcoming failure. One of the hardest things to do in life is to get back on the proverbial horse after one has fallen off. We often deal in absolutes and lean into the notion that falling means failure, and failure signals the end. While in some cases failure translates to the end of an endeavor, that is not always the case in life. Sometimes we feel as though we have failed, when actually we have achieved more than we thought, and this failure is merely a temporary obstacle. As we pour of ourselves into our thing of choice, we become more susceptible to the inescapable consequences of failure. The sadness, anger, and doubt all tend to wrap themselves around us in some form or another. We start to adopt the idea that because the desired outcome was not met, then we are unsuccessful. Success is relative, and although you may not have achieved exactly what you set out to do at this point in time, you without a doubt have succeeded in other ways. We often forget how non-linear the journey of life is, and how sometimes we can see the path to success, yet that may not be the path that results in our success. This sentiment is true for so many areas of our lives, from education and occupation to romance and relationships. We all experience the point in which we thought we failed in one area or another. As painful and difficult as falling down can seem, I want to encourage you to take another look at it. Adjust your perspective and look at it less of a definitive end, but rather more of a necessary point of growth. Should you be in a place where you feel you have failed, first assess the situation, then get back up, and finally move forward. Assess the situation. As one meets the notion of failure, they are usually left in a state of brokenness and defeat. Whether it be from failing a test or losing a job or relationship, we often become discouraged and frustrated. It is a common practice to put more unnecessary pressure on ourselves as we are most critical of the person in the mirror. We cycle through a multitude of questions, all with the point of trying to pinpoint the why something didn't work. Instead of searching for excuses, look for an explanation. Rather than kick yourself while you're down, try getting back up. Circumvent the thought of defeat with the idea of isolated victories. Remember to harvest what rational thoughts you can, for the more clarity you have, the less likely you are to stumble due to uncertainty. What some people accept but most dismiss is how failure is an integral part of our journey. A lot of us believe that just because we put our mind to it, that things should work out. Well, very seldom do things work out on the first attempt. They say practice makes perfect, and that repetition is the key, meaning that we have to work at these things in order for them to truly succeed. There have been many instances in my life where I feel I have failed in one way or another. Case in point, my earliest endeavor as a writer was writing a novel. Now, this was big for me for a number of reasons, but because at that time I didn't have the skills to make this as impactful as I wanted, I wrote it off as a failure. I would sit in this space for a long time and do nothing. It wasn't until here very recently that I decided to assess the situation and focus not just on my shortcomings, but how I could improve them. Doing this gave me a new sense of determination, and before I knew it, I was up at it again. Get back up. There was a line from a famous movie that said, "Why do we fall down? It's so we can learn to pick ourselves back up." This stuck with me for the rest of my life as it articulates how failure, or falling in a manner of speaking, is not happenstance, but rather a necessary part of our journey. When difficult times arise, we have to learn how to pick ourselves up and continue forward. Look at it like this. You can't try again if you don't get back up. You can't redirect if you don't get back up. You can't effectively find a better way forward if you don't get back up. Too many of us sit in our situation because failure to some means final. We are less likely to get back up because we are too focused on what was rather than what can still be. Like everything else in life, Take it one step at a time. Do your best to find the courage in yourself to face what was fought and finish the fight. Victory comes in many forms and fashion. Sometimes it takes the form of you just getting back up, because your resilience is so much more powerful than your fall. Feeling like a failure has kept me from doing so much in my life. However, over the years, I've learned how important it is to get back up. No, I may not get it on the first try, but as long as I continue to get back up, I can get there eventually. This is my mindset when it came to writing my novel. The first couple of attempts didn't go remotely like I wanted. So after feeling defeated and unworthy, I reached within myself and found the courage to get back up and make whatever changes I needed to and try again. The dream doesn't stop until I do. Move forward. Understanding the fall and getting back up are half the battle won. The other half is moving forward. Once you get back up, you are not to remain where you are, but rather progress forward. Pick up where you left off, this time with new insight and new perspective. Move forward with the confidence that when you inevitably fall, you know that it doesn't have to mean the end. Progress is achieved on purpose. Purpose is nurtured by perseverance. Perseverance is born by overcoming failure. You have to keep going, for only through overcoming failure can you truly appreciate success. One unique benefit to us moving forward is that for a time, we have an opportunity to become something more than human. We become a beacon of hope, living examples of what is possible to achieve even in the midst of failure and adversity. When we get back up and move forward, we have the potential to inspire others to do the same. These last few months have seen me move forward and make it one step closer to my goal as it relates to my novel. I have traded my doubts and fears for hope and confidence. I am better now than I was back then, and my drive has even inspired others around me to want to get back up and push forward. For me, a big part of my success is knowing that what I was able to do helped someone else in whatever way it could. So, in closing, failure is a natural part of our journey in life, for they say what goes up must come down. When you fail, you don't have to let it be final. First, assess the situation. Understand what went wrong, but also get an understanding of what can be. Next, get back up. Dust yourself off, for your resilience is more powerful than your fall. Finally, move forward. Take your newfound confidence and perspective and let it help you reach your goal. As you stand in the midst of your situation, know that failure isn't a designation, but rather an education. And in time, you too will walk across the stage to victory. Go forward and be blessed. You got this.